Hi everyone, welcome back. Today's look is a brown smoky eye inspired by the Latina makeup. I know, I'm the last one to do this trend. Moisturizer first because every good makeup look start with a hydrated base obviously. Next is primer. I never skip this step, especially when I want my makeup to last all day. It just makes the base look smoother. I am waiting until ये थोड़ा सा tacky हो जाए. And now it's time for my favorite product, concealer. I'm using 2-3 shades darker than my skin tone for even out my skin. I'm using my concealer brush, which is from pack, blending everything out smoothly. I don't know why, but I always like concealer more than foundation. I feel like it gives me the coverage I need without making my skin feel too heavy. My skin looks like skin, if you get that. And here I'm lightly setting everything with the loose powder so the concealer stays in a place before moving to the rest of my base. And now comes foundation, taking on the back of my hand, then warming up a bit, applying it with my finger because अगर एप्लीकेशन अच्छी हो तो ब्लेंडिंग भी ही अच्छी होती है. Honestly, I usually prefer using less foundation because I am definitely more of a concealer person. But for this look, I wanted everything to look even and seamless, blending it with my pack foundation brush in a dabbing motion, covering my hairline with it. Okay, while applying lighter concealer, I think I made a huge mistake of this video. So here I'm applying my concealer and I just realized I picked up the wrong shade. It's a little too dark for what I was going for. So instead of trying to make it work, I decided it to remove completely and start again. So I'm just removing it and starting again with my skin tone concealer. Here I'm applying under the eyes for the brightness and on the chin, on my nose. See the difference. Removing the other side and applying it there too. Now I'm taking the same concealer brush and blending everything in using a gentle dabbing motion. I always prefer dabbing instead of dragging because it gives a much smoother finish and it keeps the coverage exactly where I want it. If you guys would like me to make a dedicated video on my makeup brushes and how I use each one, definitely let me know in the comments. I love to do that. I'm just going to keep blending until everything looks seamless. See the difference? My mid face already looks so much brighter. Now it's time for contour. First, roughly applying it on my nose. I won't lie, this is probably the step where I take the most time because I always get a little nervous. And I think many people get nervous while doing this part. So here I don't want to overdo it. I prefer building it up slowly. I'm applying it on my cheekbone to bring out every shadow of my face for some natural definition. Then I just keep blending until everything looks soft and seamless. And I think when it comes to contour, less is definitely more and some more on my chin. Now I'm blending everything with my beauty blender to make the base look more natural. I always love going over my makeup with a beauty blender because it helps press all the product into the skin instead of just letting them sit on top. It also picks up any extra product so the finish looks much more smoother and more skin like. Also applying some on my eyelids. The base look a much more blended, even and natural. So here with the help of powder brush, one more time I'm just setting everything with the loose powder before moving on to the eyes. And then for the eye base, I'm using bronzer all over my lids. It's one of my favorite little tricks because it gives the eyes a nice warmth before applying eyeshadow. I'm taking this brown liner, I'm sketching out a soft wing. It makes blending so much easier and gives my eyes a little structure, which I love. Now I'm taking this dark brown shade and applying it with my finger. I know most people use a brush, but I personally like using my finger first because it deposits the pigment much better and gives a richer color payoff. I'm only applying it on my eyelids and not taking it too high. Now picking up a blending brush and softly blending the outer edges to smooth out any harsh lines. This step is really important because you don't want to see where one shade starts and the other ends. I'm taking this black gel kind of shade with the help of liner brush and tight lining my upper waterline. It's a small step, but it really makes the eyes look more defined. Using the same brush, I'm also creating a little definition in my inner corner. And now I'm taking the same dark brown eyeshadow and applying it along my lower lash line. This helps connect the whole eye look and gives that soft smoky finish. Here I'm using a nude blush. I think nude blush works perfectly with brown smoky eyes because it adds just a right amount of color while keeping focus on the eyes. Now for a little glow, taking product back of my hand, warming it a bit. I don't like anything too glittery, so I keep my highlighter nice and subtle, applying on the bridge of my nose and blending it with my finger, and then on my cheeks and blending it little bit on my chin, and that's it. Now I'm going in with a little more concealer under the eyes and around the inner corners. I really like doing this step because it instantly brightens up the mid face and gives more lifted snatched look. I'm not applying too much product, just enough to add a little brightness. Now I'm blending everything with my brush using a gentle dabbing motion. I don't know, I always prefer dabbing because it helps the concealer blend seamlessly into the skin without moving the makeup underneath. I'm just taking my time until everything looks smooth, even and well blended. See how much brighter and fresher the under eyes look now. I feel like this step really brings the whole makeup look together. I love my base makeup now. Also applying the same highlighting concealer under my cheekbone, it helps me to give more snatched look, which I really wanted. Now blending everything out properly by blending every harsh line possible. The product which I'm using in this video, if you want to know, then I can make another dedicated video on it. For the lips, I'm starting with a lip liner. I always like outlining my lips first because it gives them a more defined shape as well as more pouted lips. And here I am applying a brown lip liner, and honestly brown lip liners are my all-time favorite. I feel like they go with almost every makeup look. You can use any brown lip liner you already have. I'm outlining my lips first, then softly smudging the edges to create a more natural and defined shape. It also helps everything blend beautifully once we apply the lip product. I'm slightly overlining my lips, especially around the cupid's bow and the center of my bottom lips, just to give them a fuller look. Nothing too dramatic, just enough to enhance my natural shape. Instead of using a lipstick today, I'm going in with a lip oil. I know the classic Latina makeup look usually has matte brown lips, but I wanted to give it my own touch. I personally love glossy lips. They feel much more comfortable to wear and give the lips a healthy, juicy finish. So this is my little twist on the look. Last step, mascara. I always feel like mascara is what finally brings the whole makeup look to life. I'm not using any false lashes today because I'm really lucky to have natural long lashes, so mascara is more than enough for me. This one is honestly a must have in my makeup kit. I'm wiggling the wand from the roots to the tips to separate my lashes and give length and give them a nice lift. I'm also applying a little on my lower lashes because I feel like it makes the eyes look even more open and completes the entire look. I really love my makeup today. I've done a very good job. Let it dry and then some beauty shots. And here's the final look. This is my take on the viral Latina inspired makeup trend. I absolutely love how these brown smoky eyes turn out. They are soft, warm, and perfect if you are looking for a glam look without going over the top. I hope you enjoy getting ready with me today. If you did, don't forget to subscribe, comment, and like to Sumbul Diaries. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.